So the Democrats, with their convention this week, had a great week. The polls showed that the Democrats had a great week. Donald Trump, by extension, had a bad week, gave a couple of really bad speeches, went off on horrible tangents. So the Republicans didn't have a good week. But I'll tell you what, there is one Republican above all, even above Donald Trump, who may have had the worst possible week. And I know that's weird, like somebody actually had a worse week than Trump on the Republican side, but that person is none other than former Republican Representative George Santos. Santos had two very horrible things happen to him this week. The first is that the lawsuit that he had filed against late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel and ABC and Disney, which owns ABC, was tossed out by a judge. Here's what happened in that case, in case you haven't been following it. Back in February, Santos sued Jimmy Kimmel because Kimmel, while Santos was on Cameo, they kept sending him, anonymously. They didn't say it was from the Kimmel show, but they kept sending very weird requests to see if he would do it in videos. And he did. And then they would show these videos on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and they would make fun of him for doing it. So Santos got mad, and he decides to sue them for, what exactly was it? Because it's weird. Copyright infringement, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, fraudulent inducement. And the judge, finally, after this lawsuit was filed in February, the judge finally this week got around to being like, I'm throwing this lawsuit out because this is absolutely ridiculous. Specifically, the judge said, quote, "A reasonable observer would understand that Jimmy Kimmel showed the videos to comment on the willingness of Santos, a public figure who had recently been expelled from Congress for allegedly fraudulent activity, including enriching himself through a fraudulent contribution scheme, to say absurd things for money." What's funny is that the judge didn't have to put in there why Santos had been expelled or even talk about the criminal charges against him. But she did, just to kind of point out to Santos that, hey, you're being accused of fraudulently enriching yourself, okay? And that kind of seems like this lawsuit is just a way for you to try to enrich yourself through litigation and getting money from these very wealthy defendants here. And I'm not going to let it go forward. You signed up for Cameo. You took the requests, as ridiculous as they were. You did them. So deal with it. And of course, the second horrible thing that immediately happened on the same day for George Santos, this one came out first. Few hours later, he pleads guilty to several of the charges against him in an apparent plea deal with prosecutors. He was set to go to trial in just a couple weeks, and now that trial is not going to happen. He has pleaded guilty to committing wire fraud and aggravated identity theft in a federal fraud case. So he is looking at a mandatory minimum sentence of 2 years in prison. However, U.S. District Judge Joanna Siebert estimated a possible sentencing range between 6 and 8 years when he returns to court for sentencing, which, for some reason, the sentencing isn't even going to take place till February 7th of next year. Okay, I'm glad he pleaded guilty. Wonderful that we don't have to go through a trial. Ecstatic that he may be in jail for 6 to 8 years. Why in the F are we waiting till February 7th to sentence this guy? He's pleaded guilty now. You should have said, oh, cool, 6 years, bye. That's it. The justice system, my God, sometimes y'all drag crap out just for the sake of dragging crap out. I'm not even saying that his sentence had to start immediately, but you don't need to take another 6 months to figure it out. You could take 6 minutes, say like, okay, we're going to recess for 6 minutes. Y'all grab a smoke and a Coke. I'm going to go figure out your sentence and come back. But you didn't, like, no, we're going to wait till February for some reason. That's idiotic. Like, that's the only bright spot Santos has right now, is that he doesn't have to worry about even being sentenced till February 7th. So if you're going to delay the sentencing that long, I feel that on the sentencing date, that should also be the reporting date. So Santos should prepare to when he goes into court, he's leaving there in handcuffs, not walking out a free man again for many years. Because there is no reason for this kind of delay when you got this deal worked out in the first place. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in February, but either way, Santos definitely had the worst week of anyone else in politics. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.